I don't know about you, but I had a week and I'm ready for a weekend. All right, it's Friday night, work week's done. Grab yourself a drink. Let's share some watch stories. Wrist check, strong arm. That's the watch we're going to talk about today. All right, so I was thinking about what watch story I wanted to talk about first. And the only thing that came in my head was a story about this watch. This is the Timex Expedition Field Chronograph. Why this watch? Why a Timex? Is that the first thing that I want to talk about? So last year, I turned 40 years old. And my wife did this epic celebration where every day for 40 days, we did something to celebrate me turning 40. It was phenomenal. Usually it was just like a small present or, you know, maybe like an event that we went to or like a little date or something like that. But every day there was a card. Every day there was some sort of little present. That in itself was incredible. But I'm not going to talk about all 40 days. What I want to talk about is the last day. On the last day, my present, the penultimate 40th birthday present, was checking one of my bucket list items off. I have wanted, for as long as I can remember, to fly in an open cockpit biplane. I blame this 100% on TBS showing endless reruns of The English Patient while I was in high school. I just thought those planes were so amazing, and I always wanted to fly in one. I've flown in some other little planes. I got to fly in a Piper Cub one year. My mom got me an hour-long ride in one of those, and I even got to fly it. That was awesome. And I got to fly in a seaplane in Seattle. That was incredible. But I'd never gotten to do my Grail experience in a plane. And this year I did. So my wife books the flight. It's an hour-ish from where I live. We get up, she tells me what the present is going to be that day, and I'm of course like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Second thought, what watch am I going to wear? How am I going to pick a watch? And I know that this is kind of like a big deal. Like whatever watch I wear on that plane ride is the watch I got to wear when I checked off this huge experience off my personal life goal list. And I picked this. I picked this Timex Expedition Field watch that I bought in 2017 for $53. I don't know. It felt right. The only other watch I was really considering was the Dan Henry blacked out chronograph that looks like the watch that Tom Cruise wore in Top Gun. I mean, that was a pretty good contender, you know, like the Top Gun watch. It's not a Porsche design watch. It's the Dan Henry version, but it looks phenomenal and I love it. And I almost grabbed that one, but something about this one, I've always thought about this watch, this Timex Expedition. They call it the Field Chronograph. But when I bought this in 2017, I just liked the chronograph part of it. I didn't know anything about watches. I had, I think, a Casio Duro, a Timex Weekender, and I think I had like maybe a Skagen dress watch or something like that. And I wanted something that was a little more like rugged looking, you know, but more of like an outdoorsy watch. That's what I wanted. I I wanted an outdoorsy watch. And I don't know why, but I always thought it looked kind of like a pilot's watch. I think part of it is the hands, they're skeletonized, they're only partially painted, kind of like the Bell Ross type of look. And I love that. And then it has, you know, the little triangle at the top. And I just thought, like, that's like a pilot watch, like, whatever. So when I went on this ride, the ride of my life, I was like, I want kind of like a pilot's watch. And so I strapped this on. And during that time I was doing this experiment called Watch My Day, where we'll get into that down the road. But I was taking a picture of like an important moment every day. I'll pop it up here. It was always a picture of my watch in front of the important moment that was happening. And so I have a great picture of this watch ready to go on this ride with me. So we get out, we're driving out in the middle of a bunch of cornfields and turn down a little road. It's asphalt, but there's not even lines on it. It's a single lane road. And we drive for a few minutes on that, and then there is a giant garage. We pull in, and you can see 2 or 3 of these little planes inside. And I'm so excited. My wife is freaking out. She's like, you are a lunatic. Why would you ever want to do this? And I'm not a daredevil, guys. Like, I don't bungee jump. I don't even really like roller coasters anymore now that I'm getting old. Sometimes I can't even ride in the back of my damn brother-in-law's minivan without getting sick. So I'm not like a daredevil in any sense of the word. But this, I was just purely excited for. So we get there. The pilot rolls the plane out of the garage using a lawn tractor, pushes it out with the lawn tractor. And this plane is huge. Like, they're not that big on the movie. It's not the same type of plane, but you know what I mean. Like, on the movie, it's just like a little plane. This plane has a wingspan of like 42 feet. It's ginormous. And of course, this guy's like a total plane nut. He's super excited to talk about all the planes, and I'm asking all these questions, and I'm like basically delaying us getting in the air because I'm so excited to learn everything I can about going, like this plane that I'm gonna go up in. So this actual plane, the one that I rode in, is one, there's 7 of them left in the country, in the world, in the whole world, I think. It was built in 1927, so it's almost 100 years old. This guy and his dad, like, keep it maintained in this hangar in the middle of a cornfield in the middle of nowhere. And this actual plane he showed me, he's got this copy, an old archive copy of National Geographic, and there's a story about this actual plane in the magazine because it flew into some canyon to do some rescue mission or something. I'll see if I can find a link that, you know, links to the archives in National Geographic for that. But I was like, that's pretty cool. This plane, this actual plane was in National Geographic. That's cool. So we get in, he hands me a legit pair of goggles. You saw those on the picture at the front. And I put them over top of my sunglasses, and they're all like smushed to my face, and I feel like I can't get my glasses on right. And he gets in the back. I'm not kidding. I'm sitting on a plank bench with like a seatbelt that looks like the 1950s, like with the clasp, it's an airplane clasp. And that's it. It's me in a seating area that's supposed to be big enough to hold 4 people. I'm a big girl, so I filled half of it. And then the pilot's behind me. I can't see him. You know, the plane's tilted like this. I can't even like really see over the front while we get going. He fires up the engine, and I was like, this is loud. This is louder than I realized. And then I thought, wait, are we using the road for the runway? Holy, no way. So we start taxiing out towards it, and I'm like starting to be like, there are cars on this road. Like, not a lot of them, but I saw some. No, he just tumbles off across the grass. Oh yeah, the big mode area next to the garage is the runway. We're literally field landing strip landing. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're cool. I'm not nervous. I'm so excited. I'm trying to like take video, but also like be really present and like wave to my wife, and like there's 100 things going in my head. The plane's vibrating like this, and we're not even up in the air yet. And I'm just like, okay, man, this is crazy. Get to the end of the runway, and he cranks it up, and all of that was like 1/10 of what actually happened when he revved the engine up. But it was smooth. Like, we're rolling across the grass, and I couldn't even tell when we were in the air. Like, all of a sudden I look down, and we're 20 feet up, and then we're up. And guys, it was the coolest thing I've ever done. It just, So, I'm trying to take video on my phone. I'm trying to take some video on my camera. But I don't care about capturing any of it. I'm literally grinning. The wind, there's like that little teeny wind screen. But like, I'll put a little video of what happened, like how hard the wind was going. It's so intense that all of a sudden I realize why like guys in old movies and shows that flew planes had like ginormous leather jackets and the scarf and the little cute helmet thing on. And it was so windy. I'm grinning, like, yeah, like I'm so happy. The wind is whipping drool out the side of my mouth, and I'm like, I hope that doesn't hit the pilot. Like, I don't know where that's going, but like, I was just so happy that I could not stop grinning, this giant grin. And we flew for 30 or 35 minutes. We went down over some cornfields. We went close to some trees. We flew over like 2 or 3 different little universities. I could see football players this big running around on the fields, you know, having their Saturday games or whatever. We buzzed another little landing field, and the whole time, I took like a couple of videos while I was up there, but mostly I just was, it was 30 minutes of complete and pure joy. I have never felt like that before, and it was so cool. And this is the watch that went on that adventure with me. So this little $50 watch, I'm never getting rid of it. Like, this will always be a part of my collection. And you can see on the close-up videos, like, it's not doing well. It's 7 years old. The chronograph hand doesn't come all the way back up to 12 anymore. The little 3 o'clock dial doesn't snap back. And the chronograph feature was never like super snappy on it, and I didn't care about that. It was just cool to be able to time stuff. I think mostly I used it at work, actually, to time small tasks. So, you know, it's feeling its age a little. It's a corpse. It's still running. 7 years later, I've never cleaned it, I've never serviced it, I've never done anything to it. But I've worn the hell out of it. And now it's the watch that went in my first open cockpit biplane ride with me. And nothing will ever replace that. That's what I love about watches. We take them with us, and they become a symbol of something way larger than a piece of metal and some batteries and gears and stuff. Like, it becomes a lot more than that. And tonight, after like my hard day, I just wanted to relive that memory because it was so beautiful. And it was such an experience of joy for me. I hope you had a good week. I hope you have a great weekend. And remember, time is all we have. Let's make the most of it.